Hello everyone. In this PowerPoint presentation, I will explain the dissemination of plant pathogens, that is the transportation of the disease causing organisms from one place to another place, one host to another host, or one plant to another plant. So the various means through which they get transported from one place to another will be discussed in the coming slides. Definition. So it is a dispersal of disease causing organisms, means the pathogen. It is transmitted from one infected plant to healthy plant, or the plant pathogen is being transmitted by its vector, or it is transmitted from its alternate host to the main host. And then their spores. When they multiply inside a host, then a number of spores are formed, and the transportation of their spores, the inoculum, it is the amount of the substance which is required for the spread of a disease or for causing a disease. For example, we use small amount of inoculum for making curd in milk, so that is basically inoculum. So small amount or substance which contains pathogens or their spore from one place to another, or from healthy plant to the infected plant. So the dispersal is very important for the plant pathogens because they need to complete their life cycle. Some of the pathogens complete their half of the life cycle on an alternate host, then half on the main crop, and also they multiply. They need some medium, they need some host for their multiplication or their continuation. That is why dispersal or dissemination is important for the disease causing pathogens, and it is also responsible for the spread of many diseases. So there are basically two methods by which the dispersal occurs. So first one is autonomous, or these are also called as direct or active methods, and then indirect methods or passive methods. Means the autonomous generally contain the means from which the pathogen is directly transmitted from the vector to the host, and in indirect or passive there are certain vectors which carry the disease causing pathogens. So in this slide autonomous are listed. So there are basically two methods, so by soil or by seed. So the dispersal by soil is basically categorized into two parts. There can be dispersal in soil, or there can be dispersal by the soil, in which the soil acts as a vector, and in the first one the dispersal occurs in between the soil. The next one is seed. Most of the fungal diseases are seed borne. So there are three steps when these are transmitted by seed. So first one is contamination of the seed, second externally seed borne, and then internally seed borne. So first of all, soil. Pathogen may multiply in soil or can be transferred through the movement of soil. For example, if a pathogen persists in the soil, it is in the form of resting spores, or it also multiplies in the soil, and then it gets transferred to the other plants, from the diseased plants to the healthy plants, or from the soil to the plants through agronomic practices or by any other means, like when irrigation is being carried out, or any other practices which involve the movement of the soil. So dispersion in soil, so three steps are there. First of all, soil gets contaminated, means from where the inoculum first appears in that soil. It can be transmitted through any vectors, through machinery, through a diseased plant. So first of all, soil gets contaminated, and then there is growth and spread of the pathogen in the soil. The pathogen remains in the soil, it multiplies, it grows in the soil, and then last one is persistence of pathogen in the soil. Then pathogen rests in the soil in the form of spores or in its adult form. Then dispersal by the soil. The pathogens enter in the soil, grow in the soil, and get transferred from one area of the field towards the other area of the field through agronomic practices or by other means. Agronomic practices, I will say again, include when we are sowing the seed. Tillage practices are when carried out. The machinery can also carry the spores. Irrigation water can also carry the spores. Seed. So contamination of the seed, it can occur by basically two means in the seed lot. Seed lots are sometimes sold from one country to another country. So there can be some seeds which are infected with the disease or contain the spores of the disease, and when they travel from one country to another in a seed lot, then there is spread of the disease in the other countries, from one state to another state, from one field to another field. And the second one is get mixed in seed during harvest, for example carnalbent. When we are harvesting the seeds and some of the plants are infected with that pathogen, so during that time the spores get mixed into the seed which we have harvested. Then the diseases which are transmitted by seed can be of two types: externally seed borne or internally seed borne. Externally means they are present on the seed coat or the outer area of the seed, and internally are present inside the seed. So the externally seed borne, in that the pathogen and crop seed are in a very close contact. They form some contact. For example, in covered smut, means it is present in a compact form on the surface of the seed. And then in internally seed borne, the spores or the pathogens can penetrate into the embryo and become seed borne. They can also multiply there, or they can also rest over there. For example, smut. And the second type of the dissemination or dispersal is passive dispersal. It can occur by two means: animate agents or inanimate agents. Animate agents means biotic agents or the agents which are living, and inanimate agents means which are non-living. So animate agents include insects, mites, nematodes, fungi, human beings, birds, farm and wild animals, parasites. And inanimate include water, wind, soil is also there, but we have already discussed that in the active dispersal. So first category in the animate dispersal is insects, and it is categorized into two types: epizoic and endozoic dispersal. Epizoic, when the insects carry the disease causing organisms internally inside their bodies, and they can also carry the spores in their mouth parts or in their alimentary canals. So these get transmitted to the healthy plants through their waste. And when they carry the disease causing pathogens or spores on their wings, antennae, on their mouth, means on their external body parts, then it is termed as endozoic dispersal. And the insects get attracted towards odor or sweetness. So if the pathogens are present in the nectar, or if the pathogens are present on such surfaces which attract the insects, then they can get transmitted, because insects feed on such surfaces. So when the insects are feeding on diseased plants, their mouth parts can also get contaminated, and then they transfer those spores to the healthy plants. So aphids and leaf hoppers are the insects which act as major hoppers for a number of diseases. And the dispersal by the insects will also depend upon the type of mouth parts they are having. For example, there are mouth parts are classified into different types, like piercing mouth parts, sucking mouth parts, chewing mouth parts. For example, if pathogen is present below a surface, then the piercing mouth parts of an insect can carry the disease causing pathogen, and some insects can carry pathogen, some carry their spores, or some of them also carry both of them. And the next one is mites. So two types of mites are basically found to transmit the diseases: spider mite and areophid mite. And the nematodes, these pathogens also transmit diseases. Generally viral diseases and fungal diseases get transmitted through these. Viral diseases, because virus needs a particular media, because if a virus is present on non-living surface, then it acts as a non-living. If it is present in a living surface, then it acts as living. So it requires a living medium for its transmission. So the pathogens like Phytophthora, Tobra virus and Fusarium get transmitted through nematodes. And the nematodes, they puncture the plants for their entry, and if the spores or pathogens are present in them, then they enter the plants through those punctures which are being made by the nematodes. So these can act as major carriers, and the virus gets transmitted when nematodes feed on the healthy plants after feeding on the diseased plants if they are present in them. And both uh, virus in the adult form as well as in the larval form, or the fungus also in adult form as well as in larval form, can get transmitted through the roots. Next one is fungi. So mainly these transmit the viruses, and they can carry inside them or they can carry outside them. Next is human beings. They act as major vectors for the transmission of diseases, and they also act as transmitted uh, within countries, because they carry seeds from one country to another country, also from one state to another state, which is not possible by other means. So they spread the diseases to distant areas also, and the transmission of the pathogens or their spores by human beings is termed as anthropochory. And the major area where the transmission occurs is the seed market. So seeds are being marketed from one place to another place, from one country to another country. So but now there are different legislative measures which are used for such control, for the disease control. For example, quarantine measures. A large amount of fine is imposed if a person carries seeds from one country to another country without any permission. So before their export or import, the seeds are tested. So but in the past times there were a number of incidents due to which the diseases got transmitted from one country to another. For example, the late blight of potato, which was not found in United States, so but it was transmitted from South America to USA through some seeds. And infected planting materials, when they plant infected cuttings, infected seed, then the transmission can occur. So the agronomic practices, irrigation, seed sowing, tillage practices, they can also transmit the diseases. The clothes, there are a number of workers which work on the farm, or when they travel from one healthy field to infected field, or from infected field to healthy field, then they can transmit the disease. And when they use contaminated tools, implements and machineries for carrying out different farm operations, then also the diseases can get transmitted. And next is birds. The birds basically transmit the diseases in flowering plants because they feed on the flowering plants or they make their nests on the trees. So they also transmit different diseases. So like insect vectors, they also carry out external and internal transmission, means they can carry externally through their beaks, feathers, or internally in their alimentary canals. For example, when they feed on the infected food or infected plants, then they carry the spores or pathogens, and through their waste it gets transmitted to distant places. And then the examples are missel thrush and crows. These can transmit giant mistletoe, and basically the bird vectors are generally the migratory birds because they fly to distant places, so they transmit diseases. And they can also carry the, like they carry stem parts of dodder, which is also called as cyscuta, for building their nest. So it can also contain different pathogens which can get transmitted to the healthy trees. This is farm and wild animals. They, when they graze on the infected plants and afterwards on the healthy plants, then they can carry pathogens by feeding or grazing. And then so through their dung, when it is spread in the field as farmyard manure, then the pathogens or spores get transmitted. So one of the disease which is transmitted by farm and wild animals is powdery mildew. Then parasites, number of parasites like Dodder cuscuta, they transmit virus, also sometimes bacteria. Also the virus multiplies in them and they enter the healthy plants by the openings which they have made in the healthy plants like Dodder and cuscuta, and also through their hostoria. Then there are inanimate vectors which are non-living. So first one is wind. So transmission of disease causing organisms or their spores by wind is termed as anemochory. And wind basically carries lightweight propagers of the pathogens, and for example damping of pathogen, that is pythium, is transmitted by wind. And wind also disperses many other vectors like other organisms, birds and insects. When the fast wind is blowing, then they spread into different directions or disperse into different directions, and they also spread the diseases or disease causing pathogens or spores which they are carrying. For example, rust and weed also travels in air, and it can also, when wind is blowing, it can also transmit diseases present in soil and also in the raindrops from one place to another. Then is water. So rainwater as well as irrigation water can also transmit diseases. So the transmission by water is called as hydrochory. So water carries away soil-borne pathogens when field is being irrigated, or the pathogens which inhibit in the soil, for example fusarium, which causes wilt, and Phytophthora, Pythium, Astilago. They get transmitted through water from one place to another place through irrigation water or by heavy rains. These were some important points related to the dispersal of plant diseases. I explained different methods through which they get disseminated, and I hope you find it useful. Thank you.